There's that clip of a pastor protesting in Chicago, and they're shooting rubber bullets or something. And one of the ICE agents literally shoots one of the pastor who's out there in the forehead.
Let's play this footage. I think we have it now. This is from September 19th. Same city as where you have the dinosaur that was singing, and you have people outside the Broadview facility, and 3, I don't know what you would call them, snipers with their pepper pellet guns on the roof of the facility. There are, I don't know, again, maybe 10 protesters there, and they are standing out in front of the gate. There's like 3 or 4 of them. There's no indication that anybody's trying to clear them in any way. And you see a priest there, or I should say a Presbyterian minister. His name is David Black. He is okay. Yeah, here we go.
It's right at the beginning. That's after.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Watch this. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a different angle that I've seen.
Right here.
Okay, let's see the other angle.
So right here.
Where you can see, oh yeah, this is it. Here's the priest. He's out in front, looking up, calling to these paramilitary, ICE paramilitary guys, and they're there with their, paintball guns that are firing pepper pellets that will create a massive welt on you. And watch.
And you can see they shoot 2 before. There's one. There's another one. They
were aiming for his head.
right for his head.
Definitely. Unclear, I guess they're just literally shooting fish in a barrel.
Yep.
What's
laughing
the
about
threat
it
right there? I don't even understand what they're.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are the rules of engagement that they have? If you see somebody who looks like they're being too pleading with you from, 30 feet below you, you should fire for the head.
You got to imagine they have like a scorecard internal to ICE. Like when they go on these little like missions, they they go like, hey, you hit a priest in the head, 50 points. You hit like a pregnant lady, 20 points. Like they're just doing the kind of like bingo game out there.
It's a way to take the pressure off of the quota they have for rounding up brown people.
Mm-hmm. And I also think, we have to concede that like a lot of the illusion around like ICE and around like ethno-nationalism, not just in America, but, in Israel and abroad, is that it's meant to protect white people, or it's meant to protect like, white Christians, like broadly speaking. And I think we can all understand that that's just like a part of the selling of it to people who don't directly benefit from like the capitalist system that it's ultimately protecting. And so like when ICE does things like this, just like when the police push down old white people and their head cracks on the skull, like on television, it does, I think, disabuse people of this mythology that like what Trump is trying to do is establish some sort of white Christian nation, because they see like that his regime is openly antagonistic to those values, not just rhetorically, but like they just shot a priest in the head. This is the first shots fired in the war on Christmas this year came from Republicans, and they shot it was ICE shooting a police officer right. I mean, a priest right in the head.
He was actually saying Merry Christmas.
Right. Yeah. They're gonna have Santa at CCOT this year. They're gonna have like not just the Grinch. They're gonna put Santa in one of the El Salvadorian concentration camps, and no one is gonna be able to enjoy a Merry Christmas. But that's always been like the ultimate goal of the Republican Party.
It is the thing too. I would have to say that what we're seeing now with all this, with the violence, and they're desperately trying to come up with a reason to get the military into Portland or into Chicago. The court case that had enjoined the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals temporarily stayed Judge Immergut's order. Judge Immergut is the Reagan-appointed or Trump-appointed lawyer. I mean, a judge, I think. She had done two things. She had blocked the federalization of the Oregon National Guard, not just the Oregon one, but California to come to Oregon, and I think Texas to come to Oregon. And then she also prohibited the deployment of federalized troops into Portland. The Ninth Circuit has temporarily stayed the order blocking the federalization of the Oregon National Guard, but the deployment of those troops in Portland, and she's a Trump nominee, has still remains in effect. So, in other words, the ability of the president to federalize the National Guard, the bar is lower than the ability of the president to then deploy these troops into a city. And so that's where we're at this point. But they're desperate to get this going, because if they don't, like, this slows the momentum. They are losing the sort of like the sense of alarm that was going on in the country in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. They did not get the culprit that they wanted out of the Charlie Kirk assassination.
They forgot that our society is completely comfortable with violence.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it cuts both ways, right? Like, 1.5 million people died of COVID? That was a fake. That was fake. Let's move on.
Also, every day that passed, there's another like far right person who shoots somewhere up. So like every day that gets past the Charlie Kirk shooting where they have a leftist in custody is another day where like a neo-Nazi shoots up a school, or like an incel shoots up like a yoga center or something like that. A black church gets bombed. So like they really have to like head that off at the start.
Yeah, they can't talk about it because there is no language that they have that has a problem with that level of violence. And so, like, unless it's like you're doing a disservice, you'd be smirching Charlie Kirk. Incidentally, 300 investigations opened by the Pentagon of military personnel who have been disrespectful to Charlie Kirk. 300 on social media. 300 investigations.
Does that count ex-military personnel?
What's that?
Does that count ex-military personnel?
I mean,
Oh, wow.
and without that, they just don't have the sort of the juice that they need to justify this stuff. And the other problem they have is that they want to go into blue cities, and these cities tend to be media centers. And so it's much harder for them to go into these bigger cities because there's news there. There are people there's like 3 channels that go out and collect video. And if there was some type of like mass violence that made it difficult for people to operate in these cities, these news channels would carry it. So we're in a very strange area right now.
Which is why I think your point that to make these guys look as foolish as possible, so it completely downplays whatever they're trying to manufacture, is the perfect sort of strategy.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.